Model Y deliveries are just a couple weeks away, potentially less, because some people have been able to trick the system, tell Tesla that they're not available for the March 15th all the way till the end of the month, and that will automatically allow them to accept deliveries even sooner. Potentially like a week from today, which is kind of insane. But what's even more crazy is we're still learning more details and more things about the car that Tesla just hasn't told us yet. Wish they would update us on this thing, or maybe have filled us in at the actual event when it took place instead of history lesson. But the interior details are awesome. This comes from Twitter user Mr. Lee Tesla, and he was able to get up close and personal with the Model Y and take a lot of detailed photos with it, and finally give us some actual decent pictures. Thank you for actually utilizing like ultra wide lenses on smartphones and everything. This wasn't some pixelated mess we had to decipher, but he got some shots of the back area of the Model Y, and it finally is rocking something I've wanted on Teslas for the longest time. USBC is finally replacing USB-A. I don't know why, but because it's a car company and they probably don't acknowledge that type of thing very much. I just thought this was going to be the biggest legacy port that was still rocking on futuristic vehicles, because I was like, all these Teslas are still rocking USB-A ports and so many phones have moved over to USB-C now. I'm still angry my iPhone doesn't have USB-C, and I use USB-C cables for all types of stuff. I'm all on board with that port. It's so much better than traditional USB-A, so the fact that they're finally bringing that to the back seats of the Model Y. So those ports on the Model 3 anyways don't let you tap into things like Sentry mode or access to the actual Tesla computer. Usually those two back ports are just for power. I'm really curious to know how much power they're able to deliver, given, hey, it's a Tesla. There's a giant battery pack down there. Like, could I charge my MacBook off of those things? Probably not. I'm sure they're basically designed for smartphones, but it's awesome that we'll have that port compatibility. It just looks so much cleaner. It's a futuristic port. It's a tiny detail, but it's one that I very much appreciate Tesla giving in to. I'm sure a lot of people were asking for that, but sadly something they haven't caved in on is changing that glossy center console that so many people end up wrapping on their own Model 3s, because that thing gets so much dust, fingerprints, and scratches really quickly that there's a blossoming market of third-party wraps that you can just cover those things up, and literally almost anything instead of that piano gloss on that center console would be better. Literally just a matte finish, or those fake carbon fiber wraps, or just make it white, or there's some that match the wood trim on the inside of the Model 3 interior. Any wrap I've seen is always better than that stupid gloss black, and they're still rocking that in the Model Ys. Maybe it's cheaper to produce or something, but some people have seen some photographs of the Model Y on delivery trucks and stuff like that, and they thought that the chrome delete thing was coming apart because the door handles looked a little white, and so did the trim. They weren't all matte black. Turns out that's actually a protective film that Tesla's just putting on those while they're transporting them so that that black trim doesn't get damaged. So maybe that means it's kind of fragile. I hope not, but the good news is the chrome delete by default is staying. That's not going away. It's just a little protective film. Don't freak out if you see a couple Model Y photos that don't have that perfect black trim on everything. But the other good news about the interior we got from these tweets is that the Model Y does in fact have a 12-volt power outlet that you can plug into, which is kind of standard on vehicles like this. I mean, it's not an amazing feature. A lot of SUVs have this, but the fact that, you know, the Model 3 doesn't, obviously, because it's just a trunk, and the Model 3's 12-volt outlet is just within that center console that you can plug into whenever you need. But the Model Y is clearly something I think people are going to be able to lay down those seats for, probably go car camping with them and stuff like that, and being able to have actual power access in the back is going to be awesome. Another big reason the Model Y is just taking the Model 3, taking the Model X and S, and just elevating them on whole new levels. So the fact that you'll be able to tap into that Tesla power from the back is kind of awesome. But some people are speculating it may not give you unlimited power the same way the battery pack would just, you know, give you air conditioning until it was dead. It might be using auxiliary battery power, so it may not be infinite, but we'll find out as time gets closer. And there are some small updates to the Model Y that are outdated in my couple-day-old videos that I thought I should set the record straight in for this one, which is that we know the ground clearance now, at least with these 20-inch wheels that are on all the Model Ys being produced right now. In time, hopefully, they'll start making Model Ys with the Gemini wheels. That's what a bunch of people are waiting for. But yeah, as of now, all the cars coming out of the factories have those 20-inch ones. But thank you to Seasoned Tech on Twitter, we were able to get a comparison of what a water bottle looks like at that ground clearance of the Model Y, and it's around 7 inches, which is quite a bit higher than a lot of people were anticipating. They thought the ground clearance of the Model Y was basically going to be exactly the same as the Model 3. Glad to see those rumors put to rest. This is on the 20-inch wheels, of course, so it might end up being a little bit different with the Gemini wheels, but Model 3 ground clearance is around 5 inches, and the Model Y can bring that up to 7, which is awesome. Makes going over speed bumps and those crappy roads a lot easier, and you're sitting up higher off the the ground. And as you can see from those pictures we got from Mr. Lee Tech, the interior is really not that different from what we have on the Model 3. It's just taking those seats lifted up higher because you are sitting quite a bit higher off the ground, but that can make a lot of people feel safer. While the Model Y is still not as gargantuan as the Model X in size, it's definitely more of a 5-seater SUV, but it will have that option for 7-seaters down the road. I'm sure production for that is probably a few months off at best, and at worst, it will actually come when they say it's coming, which is next year. But given how quickly they're producing these things out of the factory, we're seeing pictures for them everywhere. I think production is going very well for the Model Y. They're very much ahead of schedule, and they're probably going to be able to deliver those standard range and 7-seater options by the end of 2020. I could be wrong, though. So what did you guys think? Did you actually like USB-A in the back seats? If someone out there actually has issues with them adopting USB-C, let me know down below. And I know I don't upload videos every single day on this channel, but if you want more EV content from me, feel free to check out the Tailosive EV podcast, which I've started with my good friends Randy and Nick. We've been podcasting about tech for years, but we've only just recently started doing a dedicated one just about electric vehicles. My friend Randy is from the Tesla Experience channel, and he owns a Model 3, and my buddy Nick has turned the Cybertruck into a religion of sorts. So if you're big fans of Tesla as a whole, we talk a lot about that on the podcast. So feel free to check it out. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have an excellent day. Take care.